my name is Gabby, and today we're talking 2026 Hyundai Santa Fe, more specifically the hybrid in the Ultimate Calligraphy trim package. Now, new for 2026 is that exact package. For the first time ever on the Hyundai Santa Fe lineup, we have two more options for the hybrid powertrain. And so far, no gas models have been arriving yet in Canada. I'll talk more about that later. We'll talk about what's new, what's changed, and of course, everything you need to know for this specific trim level of our hybrid Santa Fe. This is a live stream car review, so we're doing this in real time with no script. It's just me, you, the car, and hopefully stable internet connection. This is actually my third time filming this car because yesterday we had no internet. Anyway, let's flip over the camera and take a look at the front end of the vehicle. We'll also mention powertrain, specs, and then work our way on the inside where we talk about the luxurious comforts of the Ultimate Calligraphy trim package. Adam will take it away with the camera. For price point, we are at $56,699 Canadian. The front end of this vehicle is where you'll find a lot of sharp, angular, wide, more specifically horizontal Hyundai motifs. So our upper grille will notice lots of gloss black finish with a slight bit of dark chrome too. So there's a brightness, a bit of contrast with the otherwise very, very dark exterior. Today's vehicle is of course shown with a black paint. This is called Abyss Black. And I'm going to be honest, it's going to be very hard for me to show you what elements of the vehicle will be finished in a gloss black exterior accent. So if we had a lighter car today, you would see a lot more contrast, but in this specific color, you just see a completely blacked out look. So if that's your style, definitely opt for the Abyss. The Hyundai emblem is one of the elements right off the bat that we'll see is finished dark on the Ultimate Calligraphy. We have our bright white LED daytime running lamps that expand into our very wide headlight unit. The headlight itself is a full LED as well, and they are projection style beams. So projection style beams are more focused where you need it most, and that also means for other drivers on the road, they're not getting too much overspray and getting blinded by modern LEDs. So it's a little bit of a kinder car. On the lower end for our bumper, this portion here, it's going to be hard for me to highlight. Hopefully our video quality is good. But a large H you see spanning all the way across our front end is gloss black regardless of your exterior paint. So that is one of the big contrast points for our Ultimate Calligraphy and just the Santa Fe in general. We also have active air vents. So these rectangular vents open and close as the vehicle seems fit or deems fit to allow for airflow, so cooling, enhanced cooling. That also means that we have better aerodynamics because when the vehicle does not need to have them opened, they'll close and create an otherwise very slippery body. There's forward-facing parking sensors, so these circular ultrasonic sensors, oh, where's the other one? There we go. Will give you a beep inside the cabin to let you know when you're getting too close to something while making slow maneuvers like parallel parking or putting your vehicle in the garage. There's also a camera too, so not only do you have the audible, but you'll also have the visual. And the cameras themselves are very, very high quality, so you can see exactly how much space you have and even read the license plate of what's ahead of you. Our lower grille has those same dark chrome finishes with a mesh style pattern. And then we have some lower fins on our skid plate. Air curtains are real, so check them out with a nice vertical contrast to an otherwise very horizontal boxy approach. And I think next we should talk powertrain. So I'll pop the hood. Now it's not exactly new to have the hybrid Santa Fe option. We have had it for a while, but it was not available in the Ultimate Calligraphy trim level or the luxury trim. New for 2026, we now have 4 trim lines of hybrid powertrain. So it starts off with the preferred, then there's the optional preferred plus trend package, then there's the luxury, which gives you a lot of enhanced comfort and luxurious elements with the option for maintaining your 7 seats. And then we have the top of the line Ultimate Calligraphy, all of which will share the same 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder. It's gasoline direct injection and produces, in combination of course with our electric motor and battery, 231 horsepower with 271 pound-feet of torque. You get about 59 horsepower from the electric motor alone. It is a 47.7 kilowatt electric motor. And then we have, of course, a higher voltage battery. Now, unlike a plug-in hybrid, this is just a regular standard, or some people like to call mild hybrid. So you do not have to plug in this vehicle. All of the battery's charging is done by coasting, regenerative braking, and of course, the vehicle's engine running. So no plug-in needed to be installed at your home. You don't have to charge it at work. You don't have to find public charging stations. There is quite literally nowhere to plug in this car. There's no port, it's just a gas tank. All right, I'll talk about the transmission. It only feels natural to talk about this with the hood open. It's a 6-speed automatic with paddle shifters, and depending on the active drive mode of your vehicle, using the paddle shifters will either change your gear, so you can upshift or downshift on command, or the amount and intensity of the regenerative braking system. So that is a first for our Hyundai hybrid. For our wheels, these are Ultimate Calligraphy exclusives, so an all black 20-inch alloy, and it has a beautiful, classy, elegant, and bold design. Your tires are a Kumo all season. I can give you the tire size spec. We have a 255/45 R20, so a bit of a shorter sidewall for sure, but beautiful wheel, definitely a lot of stance to the car, and it fits the wheel arch quite nicely. Speaking of the wheel arch, this is another one of the body elements that has that dark contrast, so stands out, really pops on a lighter color exterior paint. But if you want everything to be matchy-matchy, like I said earlier, getting the Abyss Black blends in those dark contrasts very nicely. You have a Santa Fe fender flare. This is in a matte black finish. And then for our mirrors, it is body color, with the arm itself being gloss black regardless of your exterior color paint. There's a side view or blind view monitoring camera, which shows you a live feed of what's happening in your blind spot when you have an active turn signal. And then on the reflective side, you can see we have our blind spot warning. So that will illuminate the little caution icon to let you know there's someone or something in your blind spots, and it's a bit of a passive safety function. So it just gives you a little visual. You can see it out of the corner of your eye. If you're actively signaling, of course, you'll have that camera view, but you'll also have an audible alert to give you an enhanced warning that take caution if you're about to change lanes. For your door handles, we have proximity entry. Now, instead of having a button like some of our previous vehicles, we instead have a sensor style. So you just reach for the door handle. If you go for the passenger side, it'll unlock all the doors on the car. If you go for the driver's side, by default, it only unlocks the driver's door for safety. This is also fantastic come wintertime because you're wearing multiple layers. You may have forgotten which pocket you put your key in, or you don't have to dig through your bag. You just walk up to the car, it lets you in. When you're done driving, you'll press on it to lock it. Your mirrors are power folding, so when the vehicle is unlocked, of course, they will be open, and then you can have them flush with your vehicle every time you lock the car. I want to talk about the windshield real quick, because we have quite a bit going on over here. It may look like regular glass, but it's acoustically laminated, so it's going to have a bit of a quieter cabin feel, because it's reducing wind noise and road noise. In the center, there's a camera, and that camera watches the road ahead of you for forward collision avoidance that also works with pedestrians, cyclists, and other cars, as well as our lane safety. So lane keeping assist and lane following assist are standard on the Hyundai Santa Fe. And then of course, we also have highway driving assist. So that uses our navigation data, as well as the lane safety data to keep a safe speed from the vehicle ahead of you, slow you down if you hit stop and go traffic, and also do its own lane changes. Best part about that is it is not a subscription. I know some manufacturers, they'll do things like Blue Cruise, and you have to pay for it monthly. This is built into the car, so you will have it through the entirety of your ownership. Few cool things on the side. As you can see, side profile, we have a very boxy body. It is tall, it is wide, and that means when we hop in, we're gonna have a lot of headroom and a lot of space around us. Compared to its sister vehicle, the Kia Sorento, the Hyundai Santa Fe has the same wheelbase, but it's actually about an inch longer. And then for cargo room, we have quite a bit more space behind our third row of seats, which I'll show you guys in a second. On the XRT trim line for the gas model and the Ultimate Calligraphy for either hybrid or gas, this C-pillar here actually has an assist handle. I have it locked on this side, but I'll demonstrate it once we hop to the driver's side. That allows you to kind of climb up top of your vehicle, easily wash the roof. You don't want your sunroof to have a bunch of water marks or bird poop marks. Or if you use rooftop storage, that's another easy way to get up there. I'll talk about the brakes real quick too. We have ventilated disc brakes both in the front and the rear, and the Santa Fe does come standard with all-wheel drive here in Canada. There's no front-wheel drive option, but it does have a front-wheel drive bias. So that means if it's a regular day, there's dry pavement, you're operating in front-wheel drive for fuel efficiency, and the car automatically redistributes power if it seems necessary. On our rear, we have full black emblems for Hyundai as well. Our ultrasonic parking sensors along our back bumper, and then of course a rear view camera. Now the rear view camera is located right over here. However, if you move up top, you'll notice we have a secondary camera. This is used for your interior rear view. So not a backup camera, instead it'll show you exactly what's happening behind your vehicle while you're driving. So if you have all 3 rows filled with passengers, you might see a lot of heads in your typical mirror style rear view. This will be a digital, you can see 6 lanes worth of footage, and we'll demo it when we hop inside. The liftgate is of course powered, and it is height adjustable. You also have the option of turning on the proximity function, so as soon as you walk up to the back of your vehicle, if the key is on you, it'll automatically open. You don't have to risk slipping by kicking underneath or put your stuff down to press the button. It is very convenient. Now, behind our 3rd row of seats, we have over 400 liters of cargo space, and as far as the actual opening goes, it is extremely wide. The floor is also not too tall, so you're not lugging things in too high to move cargo around with your vehicle. If you need to knock down the back seats, it's very easy. Each seat will have its own individual tether. That'll allow you to push it forwards and have it go completely flat. Lots of space with our 3rd row down, of course. Now, a quick mention of these back seats, though. Check out how wide they are. They're comfortable enough for an adult to sit back here, and I think that makes a big difference. Some manufacturers could choose to squeeze in 3 seats in the 3rd row just to get, those numbers up. Like, our car fits this many people. But at what cost? It's not comfortable. This vehicle, very comfortable for a 3rd row. As far as features and amenities go, I'll have Adam pan over to the passenger side. We have control over the airflow for our ventilation, as well as 2 vents on either side. We have a USB-C for charging and a household inverter too. There's also 2 cup holders on each side, and everything is repeated for the driver's side. So USB-C and then an air vent. This side does not have the vent control for the amount of airflow, but we still have, of course, the vent itself. There's also 2 buttons to fold down our 2nd row seats. So as you can see, we can move both the left and the right on command, making it easy to knock all the seats down just from their rear. You don't have to go up and open the side doors and make it a whole shebang. You just come and do everything from the back of here. Underneath our floorboard, we have our temporary mobility kit or tire mobility kit. So this is essentially an inflator and then a sealant. You plug the sealant into our inflator kits, it'll pump air and that essentially goo to plug any sort of impact or puncture to your tire, allowing you to get back on the road quicker than swapping out a spare. Ooh, this is a big door. Our high mounted stop lamp integrated into the spoiler here, lots of gloss black on it as well. And then we have our rear wiper tucked away underneath. It's so nice to integrate the wiper into the spoiler because not only does it tidy up the look of a back end of our cars, it also keeps it away from snow and ice, so you're not gonna have to pick snow and ice off the back wiper. And I know a lot of people don't like removing the snow or ice off their car, period. Please don't be that person, especially now that we've had our first snowfall, but that does make it a little bit less to do. Our fuel door is on the driver's side. Adam, do you want to get a little closer to it? We have a 67-liter tank, and that's of course across all trim lines of our hybrid. For fuel efficiency, we're rated at about 6.9 liters per 100 kilometers, and that is a fantastic fuel efficiency number because keep in mind, this is a 3-row, all-wheel drive SUV. Can you see it do better? Absolutely. Now, where this vehicle is really going to shine is city driving and stop-and-go driving. That's because a lot of the times when you are at a slow speed or a complete standstill, this vehicle will operate in EV mode. Even though it's not a plug-in hybrid or a full electric vehicle, we have a large enough electric motor and battery capacity to keep the car running in that specific EV mode. So you're not idling unnecessary fuel. Now, I'm a little nervous for what I'm about to show you because of my shoe choice, but this pillar here, as you can see, indents because I've unlocked it. Remember on the other side, it was completely flush, didn't move. This is a grab handle allowing you to easily, I'm saying easily for most people, maybe not with the shoe choice, grab the handle, grab up top, and jump up and access your rooftop storage. So this is great again for cleaning your sunroof because little hint as to what we'll see on the inside. We have a wide pane roof here, or just glass pane, and then an actual functional power sunroof up at the front. So if you want to get those watermarks and bird poop marks off, this is an easy way to get up here and do it. On another note though, because it is a raised style roof rail, If you are using it for rooftop storage, let's say cargo carrier, that kind of thing, this also allows you to access it a bit easier. All right. Now, let's take a quick pan inside the cabin. This is a beautiful, beautiful interior. This is called the beige and forest green option. I think it's a bit more of a white than a beige in my opinion, a cream white. It is absolutely stunning. The green is not overwhelming. I know a lot of people will hear the word green for an interior and think, oh, it's gonna be like a swamp. Not in this case. This is so classy, so upscale, and so beautiful. Anytime we have a fun color or even just a lighter interior, it also opens up the cabin too, giving the illusion of more space. And I'll be honest, this vehicle is already extremely spacious, so now it just feels like, we're driving a house. It feels huge inside. For your driver's seat, there are a lot of controls, so buckle up. We have the bottom of the seat adjustment, so that's pretty standard. You can raise it, lower it, and even tilt it. There's also our driver knee extender. So if you're someone who's a bit taller, longer legs, this can be a very, very helpful tool to get you in the perfect seat configuration. Got backrest too, and then 4-way lumbar supports. With all these seat controls, it can be a bit overwhelming, so thank goodness we've got memory seats. If it's not just you driving this vehicle, it is quite handy to save your memory seat. That way when you hop in, you don't have to spend all that time finding the perfect seat position again. There's one more button I didn't mention, and that is the relaxation function. So if I press and hold this, it'll move my seat forward and then fold it all the way back, putting me in a spa-like setting. This tied with the sounds of nature function in the head unit, yeah, it's pretty relaxing. I don't know how necessary this is, but it's there and it's fun, so why not? For the door card, a big chunk of it is that dark forest green, and then our soft touch leather material here is the ivory or beige interior. There's also a bit of wood grain trim, and then a painted silver finish here. Memory seat buttons, like I mentioned earlier, they are backlit, so at nighttime you can see. And then all of our buttons and controls for our windows and our mirrors have that same lighting. All windows in the vehicle are express, meaning that one touch will drop them down or pull them up completely. And then we have our window and door locks integrated in one single button. The sound system is a Bose premium sound system. Sounds absolutely incredible. And we also have a nice touch of ambient lighting. You can set the color to whatever your preference is, making the cabin feel very, very customizable and very premium. Along my driver's knee area here, we also have a button to open and close our lift gate, turn off or on our traction control, and then of course our electronic parking brake. I'm gonna take over the camera from Adam for a second just to show you guys the steering wheel, and I'll wake the car up in a second to show the dash too. So two-tone steering wheel, you got that green outer portion, and then the inserts are the ivory. Left-hand side, we have our driver assistance. So this top left button turns on or off your cruise control, which defaults to highway driving assist if you're on the highway. You'll set the speed with the plus and the minus, and then set your following distance between the 4 preset options with this button here. With each press of the button, it cycles to the next available following distance. This little icon here turns on or off your steering assistance. So one quick press will turn on lane following assistance, which is it highlighted by that steering wheel icon right there. And then a long press turns on or off lane keeping assist, which is that car with the lanes around it. So right now I'm long pressing it and it disappeared. Another long press will bring it back. Center display will show you your current trip, and you can change the active view by pressing this button right over here on the left side of the steering wheel, top right button. So one press, we see our navigation, then we can see our lane safety, and then right back to our current trip where you can scroll down and see the other menus like since refueling, since last reset, tire pressure, all-wheel drive torque distribution, and the vehicle's current running mode. So this shows if it's drawing power from the battery, if it's recharging the battery, if you're regenerative braking, everything. Cannot forget the heads-up display. This is exclusive to the Ultimate Calligraphy trim line. It's a 10-inch display. Super hard to get focused on camera here, but it shows you your active speed, the speed limit of the road that you're on, and where you're at in your lane, as well as any vehicles in your blind spot. The gauge clusters can be customized. Right now I have it in the sport style view. Based off your drive mode, they will change their color and just their general look, and you can have it fixed to one if you would like. All right, one thing I will say, I really do like how we can see our RPMs. Some of our past hybrids did not show a proper RPM or tachometer gauge. Instead, it would just show a power band. So it shows when you're in the charge range versus when you're using a little bit more power. This car, you can have the option for either or, so you can have it show just the tachometer in certain drive modes like sport mode, and then you can also have it show the eco or charge band on others. So nice and customizable. I did highlight that we have that digital rear view, so here it is in action. We can see directly what's behind our vehicle. Even if we have a full house, there's no heads in the way. It is just a clear camera view from what's behind us. Very, very helpful on Canadian highways. We got our 400 series highways, which have infinite lanes. You can see everything that's happening. Alrighty, Adam will take over the camera again, and then we'll get started on what's behind the steering wheel. So number one is our gear shifter. This is a column mounted shift by wire, so automatic transmission. You just put it in drive, put it in reverse, and then P at the end for park. You've got your paddle shifters, which again, depending on your drive mode, will have different functions. Sport mode will change the gears, but eco mode and your smart mode will change the actual level of regenerative braking on the car. Behind, on this side, sorry, where should we go next? This is our 12.3-inch CCNC software display with integrated navigation, a dedicated hybrid menu. This shows you what the current status of your vehicle is, your average fuel efficiency, where the vehicle is drawing power from, and also your average electric motor use. You can go ahead and access different menus. It's your online manual from here too. This is of course exclusive to the hybrid powertrain. The gas variation will not have that. For things like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, I think you guys will be very pleased to know it is wireless. So regardless of your screen size or trim level, if you have an Android or Apple phone, you can have the projection absolutely cable free. Very nice. You guys have been asking for that for a while. We have it. The seats are also very easily controlled from the main head unit. So if you know you're picking up some passengers and it's a cold day, you can go ahead and pre-warm the seats for them, which is pretty nice. You can also recline the seats, put them in a more relaxed position, tilt the cushion, and even power fold them from the front row. So check that out. I'm folding the driver's side second row seat. I don't know if it'll actually go down all the way because my seat's rather far back. Ooh, we clear. Very nice. There's honestly so much you can do from this head unit, and if I explained everything in this video, it would be a few hours long. So we're gonna skip through some of it. If you wanna know more, don't worry, we've done a video on just about everything you can think of regarding any of our cars, so check out the channel if you haven't already. But back to this, we have our front sunroof. This is more so for just the driver and passenger. It is power opening. So if you want some fresh air, open it up. You can also tilt it if you just want a little bit. And then the cover itself is manual. So if you want it closed, you'll have to do it yourself. The rear sunroof is actually just a glass pane. So the glass itself won't open, but the cover is powered. You can stop it at any point. And while we're looking up, we might as well talk about the headliner. This is a deluxe headliner with a microfiber suede feel. Because it's also lighter, again, it gives the illusion of a brighter, more open cabin. As far as kids and cleanliness, tell them not to touch it because I can imagine this would be a little harder to keep clean. Don't worry, if this is too bright of an interior for you, there is also a dark black interior option. So there's a kid-friendly version of the Santa Fe Hybrid too. I think we'll take a quick look at our climate control panels and physical buttons, and then what we have in the center console before we hop in the second and third row. So you'll be pleased to know we have real buttons. That's right, screens are not in. Screens are annoying. Being able to quickly press search and find what you're looking for or jump into your radio or media menu, that's kind of handy. You don't have to cycle through screens while you're driving. Keep your eyes on the road. We have real knobs for our volume as well as our tune. If you're in the active map menu, the tune knob will actually be your zoom in or zoom out function. So it just makes sense based off what screen is active on your vehicle. Below that is our climate control, and while this does have some screen buttons, they do have haptic feedback. So I can turn on my heated seats, my ventilated seats, 3 different levels for both driver and passenger, as well as my heated steering wheel, our fan control, and automatic climate. You can go ahead over here and turn on the rear climate too. So if you want your rear passengers to be a little comfortable, you can do that, or you can turn it off. The world's your oyster. I'm just gonna turn everything off for now so it's not too noisy. Oh, there we go, off button. Sorry guys, I'm new here. And then right below, we have a few more controls for our auto hold braking, our drive and terrain mode select, which I'll have Adam show what's changed on our gauge cluster as we cycle. For drive mode, there's Eco, oh, hello. Eco, Sport, and My Drive, which is customizable. And then for terrain, we have Snow, Mud, and Sand. Snow, Mud, and Sand mode will change the preset distribution for the all-wheel drive torque. Now, snow mode is a little bit different. Snow mode is primarily 80% in the front, 20 in the rear. However, it can go down to 50-50 if you are truly stuck. Of course, the vehicle adjusts it on its own. Mud and sand mode are 50-50 right off the bat. So not meant for, regular driving. Only use it if you're actually stuck or trying to maneuver through mud and sand. Little tip. Now, right below that, we have our 2 wireless chargers. The dual charger is exclusive to the Ultimate Calligraphy, and so is our UV sanitization tray. The tray itself is located in the center console area. So you can use this for just regular storage. It is illuminated, but when you do press the UV button, it will turn on its sanitization lights, and it becomes a little sanitization place. Put your sunglasses in there, phone, wallet, whatever may have touched things. Card takes care of that for you. But that, of course, you don't have to use it if you don't want to. There's 2 USB-Cs up at the front for plugging in any devices or phones. And then this indicator here showcases our charging status for the wireless phone chargers. There's a downhill braking assist control button here, our park view camera, and then our parking sensors. I'll show you guys the camera because it is quite impressive. You have the full surround view monitor giving you a top-down view on the right, and then our rear view on the left. Now, if I was moving my vehicle forwards, this would show me what's happening in front of me, but this one right now is the rear. If I'm parked, I can actually go ahead and change what I'd like to see on command. So we have our side view of the front, our full view of the front, and then the same is repeated for the rear. I could see my side view mirrors showing my back wheel, very helpful for parallel parking, and then a full screen or widescreen of the full rear view. There's also this one, and this is a bit of a 3D. Oh, dang it, okay. I love running the vehicles in accessory mode. All right, this is a bit of a 3D view. You can move it around and see what's happening with you. What's happening around you, sorry. All right, and then we're back to our navigation. I'm gonna have Adam show what's under our center console, and then I promise we will take a look at our second row. This video is already getting very long. So underneath our center console, we have a 12-volt inverter, and then a fairly large storage pocket, perfect for, quick umbrella, gloves. I'm thinking of winter right now. Lunch bag, whatever you need to throw in there. Just remember to get it out when you leave the vehicle. Adam, do you want to show your seat? We have a multitude of ways to adjust the power passenger seat. There is also, there we go, now I can reach it. We have our knee extender for the passenger. That's something you don't see that often. Backrest, and then our lumbar support. No lumbar support. But very comfortable passenger seat. We'll get a good look at the actual design in it too. So you have a similar to what we see on our front end, H motif, kind of like our front bumper, and then a good amount of bolstering. It's not stiff bolstering where it's uncomfortable, it's just supportive. All right, lights just went off. Adam will take care of that, and then we'll go in our second row. Now, for the second row, we have captain's chairs on the Ultimate Calligraphy. So captain's chairs are extremely comfortable. This is gonna take longer because it's stuck, but it's still doing it. You would think with such a smart car, it would know it has to move the seat up a little bit and do it, but it's okay. Anyway, power folding second row seats. Love them or hate them, at least there is a little bit less work that has to be done by you for them. These seats are heated. The heat controls are done either by the screen up at the front or on the door card itself. You have 2 cup holders on each door, and then a bottle holder along the bottom, as well as your Bose premium sound system, and integrated sunshades into the door. I love the fact that these are built into the vehicle. I think they just look so much better, very easy to use, and they cover the entirety of the window. If you've ever installed some aftermarket ones, the ones they sell at Walmart, Canadian Tire, you have those suction cup marks that stay forever, even after your kids have grown up. This is just way nicer, way easier. Now for these seat controls, Adam, they are powered if you want to move them around and show. You can change the height, the backrest of these rear seats, just to make them truly comfortable. So a little bit more reclined, a little bit more forwards, whatever you like best. This also means that if there are people sitting in the third row, you can give them a bit more space quite easily, or maybe a bit less space, depending on if you like them or not. You got your armrests that are adjustable. And then as far as convenience goes for your second row passengers, on our pillars, that's where we'll find our air vents. A bit of a different location for them, but this is really good because it goes towards their actual body and not just their knees if it was placed behind the center console. Speaking of the center console, your rear passengers have access to it, so it's a bi-directional opening console. Do not tell them about this if you like to keep your good snacks there. Tell them that is just a design point. The backs of the seats have our plastic style pocket, and then we have built-in clips into the upper seat back. So this is essentially, you know, to hang shopping bags or purses, smaller items like that. It's also great to wrap around cords. So if you have a phone charging in the USB-Cs built back here, you can wrap the excess of cable around here and then have the phone sitting in the pocket nice and neat without the cables running along your feet. Over here, we have another storage compartment. Pretty cool. And then up at the top, we have a nice view of our sunroof. Looks a lot of light in. Speaking of light, they are LEDs back here throughout the entire cabin of the vehicle. Then if I'd like to easily get into the third row, both of these two main seats will have a button up at the top that allows you to fold them. So Adam, you want to demonstrate that? So quick, so fast. With a captain's chairs, of course, if you are someone who has smaller passengers, they can probably squeeze in through the two captain's chairs, but to get in the normal way, you'll just climb in through here. This only moved the vehicle's backrest, or the seat's backrest forwards, and it didn't actually move it on its rail at all. So you can make it actually quite easier to get in by pushing the seat itself forward. All right, space-wise, check this out. Lots of headroom. Because this vehicle is so boxy, we have a pretty consistent roof line, so it doesn't taper downwards too far back in the third row. You have a lot of space. It actually convexes upwards too, so more than you'd think. The windows are almost a perfect square. They're not kind of, you know, strangely shaped like most three-row SUVs. So you have a good view of the outside, making you feel like you're not a part of the cargo area. You're an actual passenger with an actual seat and an actual window seat. The sides we already showed earlier, but we do have air vents. You got speakers, and then we have our USB-Cs for plugging in any sort of accessories. The seats are wide. I pointed that out earlier, so you have your own personal space, especially if you are, you know, putting two people over here. They're not overlapping on each other. There is room to just be and to sit. Because there's captain chairs too, you do have the hallway in the middle. So if it's a long drive and you need to stretch your legs out for a second, you can take turns doing that. You're not confined back here. It also means you have a pretty good view of everything else in the cabin, so that makes you feel a bit more connected and less, again, like a piece of cargo just thrown back here. Now, I think that's about it for our interior overview. Of course, there's so much in this vehicle, far too much to cover in a small live stream. So let me check out your questions, see what you guys have to ask, and then we will end off today's video. I also want to point out, if you're curious how this vehicle stacks up to the Kia equivalent, well, I'm going to be honest, I think it's a little bit better. So we are doing a live stream comparison of the top of the line Kia Sorento hybrid, and then of course this vehicle, which is the top of the line Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid. All right, you guys, 33 minutes in, let's see what's happening. What are you guys thinking? Looks quite spacious in there in the third row, more so than the Sorento. So it is a little bit more spacious than the Sorento. Release the leopard, Gabby. Hope y'all are doing well. Yes, we're doing good. Thank you. I was going to wear that leopard shirt today, but I figured, you know what, maybe not. That is nice, but my phone doesn't have wireless charging. I only have one wireless charger. Yeah, so some phones actually don't have wireless charging at all, and that's okay. So I'm very glad we still have USB-Cs to plug in actual cords if your phone doesn't have wireless charging enabled, or if you're just not a fan of it. I know for me, these wireless chargers are built to not overheat your phone, but I still think it's very slow compared to just plugging in your phone, so I always still plug it, unless I forget a cable, of course. Someday USA customers will be given access to shop online at Canadian Tire because one man... Oh, okay, I'm not going to read that. Oh my goodness, Bob Davis has a 268,000 mile Telluride. Incredible. Can we change the color of the car in 3D view? Unfortunately, I don't think you can. Ryan said you can, but I don't think so unless he's responding to something else. I've never seen that ability. I've always mentioned it in my videos saying, well, my car is black. Why is this car showing it as white? I think it's something that should be very easy to adjust and add in a software update, but I haven't seen it yet. DT said, oh, that's a very light, almost white interior. Not sure about that on the seats personally. So white interiors, I will say, these are very, very easy to clean, especially considering it's a leather finish and not a cloth. I find a lot of stains soak into cloth a lot harder. But it may not be for everyone, and that is totally okay. That's why I'm very happy it's an option and not absolutely mandatory for this vehicle. It's very likely that Charlotte will want to do a live stream at 2 p.m., but we'll see. Yes, so Charlotte will be here at 2. And that's when we're comparing this vehicle to the top-of-the-line Kia Sorento. A couple of people asking why we went live early today, and that's because I've tried filming this car 3 times now, and every single time either the Wi-Fi stops working or it's been a little bit of a nightmare. The first time I filmed it, I was feeling really unwell. I started coughing, I think a few minutes in, and I couldn't retain myself. I couldn't come back from that. So we had to stop, and then there was, yeah. So 3rd time's the charm, apparently. What do you think of the 2026 RAV4? So I gotta be honest, I've never really been the biggest fan of Toyota's styling, at least for their modern vehicles. I do love me a Tacoma, I love me a 4Runner, and I love me a Supra, but everything else, dare I say, a little bit boring. But they have stepped up. For the longest time, Toyota was always 10 years behind in tech. Now things are getting better. Their styling is improving. It's more modern. Same thing with their interior technology. But I do have to be honest, I do find more value in the Kia and Hyundai product for the most part. But I will say, they have some very fun color options. And like I said, they've greatly improved their tech and their functions. They've always done really well for hybrids too. I mean, look at the Prius. You think hybrid and immediately you think Prius. Any word from Kia Canada about the 2027 Telluride? So not specifically from Kia Canada, but what I do know based off what we see for the Hyundai Palisade, we are getting 2 powertrains. One will be a V6 and then the other will be the hybrid. So for the hybrid, it is a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. We can expect to see similar or probably the same power outputs as the Palisade hybrid. So that is 329 horsepower with 339 pound-feet of torque. I'm assuming the hybrid will still be built in Korea. I'm not too sure about the gas model. So we are going to the LA Auto Show next week where they're officially unveiling the 2027 Telluride. So we will get that up on the channel next week. If you guys want to see it, please follow along, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if there's anything specifically you'd like us to answer or show in the videos. Of course, we're going to try our best to get everything we can, but because we are going on Media Day, there are plenty of other people with YouTube channels, blogs that are going to try and do the same thing. And anytime Kia and Hyundai release something big like the Telluride is such a popular car, there's going to be a lot of people trying to access that vehicle all at the same time. So we'll try and get everything we can. If there's something we can't show specifically, we can at least find the answer to and maybe do a separate video just answering all your questions. So if you want to know about, I don't know, if there's this button in it or this function in it, let us know and I will write them all down. We'll answer them when we're there. Okay, that's it for today, you guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you at 2 p.m. Bye-bye.